Hey guys, welcome back to middle school. This is 7th grade spirals, my favorite softening exercise. Guys, I have traveled far and wide once I realized that horses that you can't control the head, you can't control a horse. Once I got that epiphany, I started searching far and wide for a horse that is softer and easier and how to make that happen. And this is by far my favorite exercise to break the resistance of a horse, to soften a horse and get them easier through their handling, through their face. Really looking to get that lateral and vertical flexion, and it happens just like this. I'm gonna walk this horse off and walk him in a spiral. Now the reason we call it a spiral is because early on, all the horses that I rode, they were so hot to trot, so wanting to go forward that they were really trying to go fast. They didn't want to walk. So this is really what I started using for them, but then I realized how great it worked on Western horses, how great it worked on dressage horses. We are simply going to walk this horse in a circle and look for this same circle that we have in 1st grade. We're looking to get that horse soft and easy. We're going to bump, bump, bump towards the seam of our jean in our pocket. Notice my arm is extended, so for him to take his face from me, he would have to pull me out of the saddle because I have no more arm to give. The next thing that I'm going to do, once he's walking in a small circle and he's nice and bent like this, I am going to lock this hand into my knee. Then with my outside hand, I'm going to slide it down the rein until I find his face. Oh. And I'm going to ask him to back up. My inside rein is locked into my leg right by my knee as low as I can get it. My outside hand, I'm going to find his face and lower this hand, and I'm going to bump and release. Every time that he takes a step backwards, I'm going to release. Look how his chin is in front of the point of his shoulder and his chest. If I get his butt towards the fence, I just release that outside rein, look at his butt, stop, take my legs off, sit back, bump, 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 bump. Ask him to move his butt, pull back again. The keys to this is keep your hands low, lock your inside hand into your leg, and your outside hand is the one that does all the work. Whatever we do to one side, we're going to do to the other side. Guys, this is the epiphany that I had somewhere along the way. Left and right, being able to control their face and their butt will control where they go. So as long as you have their face and their butt, it doesn't matter how excited they are, how this, how that, how much brio, how much energy. As long as you have left and right, they can't run away with you, they can't buck with you, they can't rear with you. Controlling up and down, how high they carry their head, controls how they go. If I want the horse to be energetic and pumped up and dressage-y, Englishy, gaited, I drive them up into the bridle. It's going to make them more energetic. For the rest of the world that wants a quiet horse, I want to get their head down, because when the top of their head drops below their back, drops below their withers, it releases an endorphin that kills adrenaline. So the more that I can get him to do that, I'm going to be able to shut off his adrenaline pump at will. Again, give him the reins, let him walk off. Look how much softer and easier he's getting. But Michael, why don't you back him up first in a straight line? Look at his big old head, neck, shoulders. This is a beefy fella right here, okay? He's had a lot to eat. He's carried a lot of weight. He's a strong guy. When I take him off center, like so, I take half of his muscles away from him. I take half of his power away from him. If he tried to buck with me, or he tried to rear with me, or he tried to run with me because he couldn't accept this pressure, all I've got to do is release that rein, let him turn a circle, and do it again. Ask him to back up again. And just step by step, piece by piece, we can break down any of his resistance. We can get him so soft and so easy and so willing that he doesn't want to get to the end of our line, which is going to make him a better trail horse. It's going to make him a better obstacle horse. It's going to make him a better performance horse. It's going to make him a more obedient and disciplined horse, and an overall more forgiving riding horse. I absolutely adore and love this exercise. I can't name the number of horses that we have softened up at clinics, and the real magic under saddle that gets them doing what we want is the spiral, because they're just not accustomed to dealing with it, and they have no answer. And since they don't have any answer, they look to do what we're asking. The ultimate goal is to be able to get that horse to drop his head with 2 hands in a straight line. That's what people call vertical flexion. I'll turn him sideways here. So trainers of all disciplines, dressage, reining, Western, English, they want to just be able to hold the reins and bring his nose down. And the reason they call it vertical flexion is they want to be able to bring his nose vertical, straight up and down with his forehead, where his face is flat. The reason that is desired is that is really that horse putting himself in position to perform. Very similar, think about it like a dog looking up at the handler. You say, oh, well, that's an obedient dog. Look how he looks like he's the exorcist. He's looking at the handler the whole time. The horse equivalent of an obedient horse is a horse that has a nice headset. That's why we're looking for that. A lot of people try to argue with the horse to do that and put a bigger bridle, a bigger bit, a bigger this, a bigger that. Instead of doing that and arguing where he's strong, which is in a straight line, if we can bring him off center, if we can get him moving around here and get him off center, we can simply pick him apart in just 1 or 2 sessions instead of spending month after month working on his collection and his softness. We can show him the answer that we want and get that horse just butter soft. All of you guys that have got run away with in the past, got bucked away with in the past, it wasn't because you gave the horse the reins and said, here, take me. You were doing your best. Help me, stop, whoa, whoa. If the horse would have gave in those scenarios, you wouldn't have got bucked off, you wouldn't have got ran away with. So it's important that we get the horse soft, and the spirals are by far the easiest way I've seen to get those horses just buttery soft and doing whatever you want. Well, thank you guys so much for watching 7th grade Spirals. I'll see you in 8th grade.